So with the new release of Feixiao, we're going to be going into should you summon for this character. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look into her skills and how she works. All right, so we're going to start with her basic attack, which is deals wind damage equal to 90% of Feixiao's attack to a single target enemy. But here go her second skill, which is talent, and basically can activate ultimate when flying Ursus reaches 6 points, accumulating up to 12 points. Feixiao gains 1 point of flying aura for every 2 attacked by ally targets. Feixiao's ultimate attack do not count towards this number. After Feixiao's teammates attack enemies targets, Feixiao immediately launches follow-up attack against the primary target, dealing wind damage equal to 96% of Feixiao's attack. If there is no primary target available to attack, Feixiao's attack a single random enemy. Instead, this effect can only be triggered once per turn, and the trigger count resets at the start of Feixiao's attack. When using this attack, increases damage dealt by this unit by 52%, lasting for 2 turns. Now, basically what all that means from her talent is that each time an ally attack, she does a follow-up attack as well. Let's say you have a Venturine. When the Venturine does his follow-up attack, then she'll do a follow-up attack after him and slice the enemy. That's basically what that means. And it stacks up points. Each follow-up attack stacks up points no matter who it is, if it's you or if it's, let's say, Topaz, or if it's freaking a Venturine. And just stack it up. And then the max is obviously 12, so you can't go past that. But we're getting to why that is actually pretty OP when we get to her ultimate. And her skill deals wind damage equals to 187% of Feixiao's attack to a target, then immediately launches 1 instant of talent's follow-up attack against the target. Now basically this is her doing, like, when you use her skill, she's going to hit the target, and then after that she's going to do her own follow-up attack. That's literally what that means. It's nothing else you can really describe about that. After using technique, enters the aura state lasting for 20 seconds while an Onrush pulls in enemies within a certain range and increases the unit's movement speed by 50%. After entering battle, gain 1 point of flying aura. While in Onrush, actively attacking will start with all pulled enemies. After entering battle, deal damage, wind damage to 200% of Feixiao's attack. At the start of each wave, this damage is guaranteed to crit. If more than 1 enemy is pulled in, increases the multiplier of this damage by 100 for each additional enemy pulled in, up to a maximum of 1000%. All right, now let's get into her ultimate, which is during the ultimate can ignore weakness type to reduce the enemy's toughness. When the target is not weakness broken, Feixiao's weakness break efficiency increases. Launches Boulder Blitz. Launches Bolt Thunder Blitz or Wave Axe Skyward. Okay, those words is tripping me up. On a single enemy 6 times, deals wind damage at the end. And basically, Bolt Thunder Blitz deals minor wind damage to a single enemy and increases the damage multiplier against targets that are weakness broken. And the War Axes deals minor wind damage to a single enemy and increases the damage multiplier against targets that are not weakness broken. So basically the Blitz deals damage to them actually, and the Axe deals damage to their weakness bar. And it will pop up, like as you can see right now, that it will show when you actually are doing that. It will tell you which one to use. It's literally gonna be like, hey, you probably should use this one, and then hey, you should probably use this one. And then they both end in a big attack at the end. So now that we know what she works, is she a summon? Well, we can't figure that out yet because we still got one more thing to do, which is look into the relics and light cone. All right, so for the light cones, obviously her best in slot is the light cone that she has now because it gives her crit, and it also gives her 20%. It also gives her 26% damage ignore. But other options that you can use for her is literally the other options that are going to be on her team anyway, except for Dr. Ratio. But basically, Dr. Ratio light cone is actually a pretty good substitute for her other one. It gives a lot of crit damage, and then also along with getting a lot of crit damage, it's just good. It's just the only thing is you're gonna have to try to get 3 stacks of debuffs, which shouldn't be that hard when you running the team that you want to run with her. But other than that, the other thing is Topaz. Topaz's one can be good for as well. It gives crit rate and also follow-up attack damage, just like Dr. Ratio's. And the one that is good for almost every damage dealer in the goddamn country is cruising in the stellar seat. This one is good. It gives crit rate, and it also gives an extra crit rate when the enemy is below 50 health. And then if you murk an enemy, you also get 40% attack as well, which is the one that I'm using on her because I am not pulling for her light cone. I can't afford that. But anyway, like I said, I mean, she is a pretty good damage dealer when it comes to this certain team comp. But then when we go to her relics, obviously we're going to run the same relics that we run for, oh, who guessed it, Firefly. So if you've been grinding for Firefly, losing all the other stuff, getting these weird things, you good. But if you haven't been grinding for Firefly, I don't know why. You should have got the character in the first place. But other than that, as you can see, you'll just run literally crit rate or crit damage there, speed or attack, depending on if you're using a person that can boost up her, like, you know, like Sparkle or Bronya. I think literally those are the only two that can boost up. But if you're using them, aka Sparkle, if you're using Sparkle, then you really just run speed boots. I mean, not speed boots, you really want attack boots. But if you're not using her, speed, not because you want her to actually be fast as well. But other than that, obviously we're running Doran's thing because why not? And as you can see in all of these, you either going to want crit rate or crit damage as sub pieces because you want her crit rate to be at least 80%. Mine is 90, but whatever. And she also gives herself a lot of crit damage in the first place when it comes to her talents anyway, so you don't need to really worry about the crit damage itself. Just worry about getting at least the 80 crit rate. Now, to answer this question of if you should summon for Feixiao, my answer is yes. I'm gonna be honest. If you don't have other damage dealers, you should summon for her. AKA, if you don't have Acheron, you should summon for her. If you don't have Firefly, you should summon for her. These are the only two that I would say is up there on par with her. You could say Yulin, but not really. Not really. She's not really on par. The only other two units in the game that is on par with her is literally Acheron or Firefly. Now, if you have even one of these, let's say you have both like me, because you know you pull for good characters, then you can skip it if you want to. You really skip her. But let's say that you don't have Acheron, or you only have one of them. I say definitely get her, because just remember, you do need two teams in this game, and one of them could be a follow-up team, and then the other one is literally a break team, or one of them could be a follow-up team, aka her, but then the other one can be a debuff team, because Acheron built on debuff, and her skill is just like Acheron's too, also, by the way. But other than that, my thoughts is you should summon if you don't have her. Me personally, I would say summon for her in general, because she is actually a pretty decent unit. So at the end of the day, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe if you're new. Don't forget to check out this video that's popping up. And if you do summon for her, I wish you the best of luck, because it took me 80 pulls to get her. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.